Hello, my name's Aidan White and I'm the president of the Ethical Journalism Network. I'm also a football fan, and like millions of others all around the world, I've been tuning into the World Cup finals in Qatar in recent weeks. This has been a great media event, and not always just for action on the field. Media have also been rightly interested and subjecting to a considerable amount of scrutiny the Qatari society itself, its government, and particularly its laws. There's been a great deal of reporting about, for example, the number of migrant workers who've died in construction projects in the preparation for the World Cup. Unfortunately, some of that has been subject to considerable exaggeration. In some cases, media, Western media, have been reporting numbers of deaths which are conflating totals over a period of a number of years, rather than just focus on exactly who has died in the construction projects around the World Cup. That has led to an extraordinary number of inaccurate reports on the number of deaths. Every death is, of course, a tragedy and has to be recognized. And the Qatari government has responded to international pressure from the international trade union movement and from FIFA to make sure that it changes, and it has made changes to its migrant laws to provide better protection and labour standards for the workers concerned. But it's important that media avoid exaggeration. And unfortunately, in the Arab world, I think there's a great deal of concern often that Western media have a very fixed idea, which can lead to stereotypes of how societies are in that part of the world. I think it's important also to recognise it's been quite legitimate for media to report on LGBTQ issues. And this has been recognised by the fact that a number of football teams from various countries have demonstrated their support for reform to LGBTQ laws in Qatar and elsewhere. So I think these issues are important, but if they're to be reported, they must be reported fairly and ethically. And I think the core values for journalists here have to be respected. I think the issue of accuracy and fact-based communications, of political independence, so that we're not seen to be speaking for one political point of view, the issue of impartiality, to make sure that we include all sides of the story, the issue of humanity, to make sure that nothing we report does damage, but we show respect for others. And finally, the issue of accountability and responsibility. When we make mistakes, we should correct our errors. And there have been a number of mistakes that have been made. As we come to the conclusion of the World Cup, I think there are lessons for journalists, and particularly in the Western media, to learn here, that when reporting on high-profile issues such as human rights abuse in countries like Qatar, it's very important to stick to the facts, to keep it right. If we're to create that stream of reliable, honest and trustworthy information that people need when they are tuning into something like an international event like the World Cup, then they need to rely on journalism that is going to tell them the truth. The more that we can do that through our ethics and through our core values, the better it will be for everyone.